Hello, I'm Ben Shatliff. You're watching Ben Shatliff on Sunday. It's Sunday, March 3rd, 2024. Hope everybody is well. Coming up on today's edition of Ben Shatliff on Sunday, we're going to be discussing the Rochdale by-election. Was it a shock? Was it a surprise? Or was it already known? And who could really be made to blame for the outcome? And of course, we've got a little bit of nice weather. We've got some sunshine outside, and of course, it's been a bit colder as well. But what did everybody do with the extra day on Thursday, February 29th? I'll have a light-hearted look at that at the end of the programme. But before that, though, let's take a look at some of the news stories which are affecting us on this Sunday lunchtime. We're going to go straight to the ITV News app, like we have been doing of recent times. And their top story from the ITV News app is that train passengers are punished as fares rise by nearly 5%. As train passengers are left angry and punished by ticket fare rise, ITV News looks at how much more your tickets will actually cost you. And the Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, cast doubt over tax cuts ahead of the budget, which of course is taking place on Wednesday. US carries out first aid drop of food and aid over Gaza. Red Bull risks being torn apart if Horner stays, says Verstappen's dad. And also going back to the budget, drones and AI, an £800 million budget package to cut police and NHS ties. We had a discussion about AI going back a few months ago. Now let's look at the Sky News app and see what they're reporting, because Jeremy Hunt was on Sky News this morning. They're saying unfunded tax cuts, deeply unconservative, says Hunt ahead of budget. A girl aged just 7 has drowned as migrants attempt to cross the channel to the UK. Jeremy Hunt just said that the budget will be prudent and responsible. Houthis vow to sink British ships. The path to Gaza truce straightforward. I'll just go into the full thing. Straightforward as talks resume. Dozens of police officers convicted of crimes including rape and sexual assault since Sarah Everard's murder, which is 3 years ago. And Sky also reporting about conspiracy theories surrounding Kate won't force William to change his position on policy. They are the stories which are affecting us this Sunday lunchtime. Now, on Thursday, it was the extra day. We'll talk about that in a few moments' time. I'll tell you what I did for the extra day, which is part of my Lenten walking challenge. And let's have a look at something else that happened that certainly made the news that we woke up to on Friday morning. That was the Rochdale Parliamentary by-election 2024, Thursday, February 29th, 2024. Now, George Galloway won the election with 40% of the votes, and in total he had 12,335 votes, and he was calling himself the Working Party of Britain, which he's the leader. I don't know if there's any others in the party or not, but he's the leader anyway, the Workers' Party of Britain. David Anthony Tully, who is an independent and is a local businessman in Rochdale, that knows all about Rochdale, he got 21% of the votes with 6,638 votes. And in third place was Paul Simon Ellison, the Conservative Party candidate, with 12% of the votes with 3,731 votes. And then there was Azhar Ali. Now, because his name was already on the ballot paper as the Labour Party candidate, He wasn't, in effect, the Labour Party candidate due to reasons of having been suspended due to claims of anti-Semitism. He still got 8% of the vote with 2,402 votes. Then Ian Donaldson for the Liberal Democrats got 2,164 votes, 7% of the votes. And then former Labour Party candidate and former Labour MP for Rochdale, but now standing for Reform UK, Simon Christopher Danchuk got 6% of the votes with 1,968. There was another independent that got 2% of the votes called William Leckie Howarth. He got 523 votes. Mark Coleman, it doesn't actually say what he was actually standing for. He got 455 votes, 1%. Also with 1% was Guy Nicholas Otten for the Green Party with 436 votes. However, he had withdrawn his candidacy, but too late to come off the ballot paper. And then Michael Howarth, independent, 246 votes with 1% of the turnout. And then Ravin Rudent Subordinate, the official Munster Reading Looney Party, he got 209 votes, again 1%. So it's important just to read out there about the actual figures there of what was actually obtained by each of the candidates. Nobody got 0 votes. People got something, including the Munster Reading Looney. They got to, let's just look at that in comparison, though, to some of the so-called mainstream parties. So you've got, with 1%, 209 votes, you've got Ravin Rodent Subordinate. He got 209 votes. And then Simon Danchuk got 1,968. Labour got 2,402. And the Liberal Democrats got 2,164, but the Conservatives got 3,731. When you think about it, 209 votes could quite easily have made a difference in terms of the actual share of the votes as far as Conservative, Labour or the Liberal Democrats have got. If those 209 votes could have put Paul Simon Ellison close to 4,000, he wouldn't have won, but still could have been close, or even then put David Anthony Tully, the independent, a little closer there to the 7,000. This is all just hypothetical conversation. But the fact is, though, now, from this by-election, which has caused controversy in a whole variety of various different ways, but let's not also forget the passing of the man who was the Labour Party MP for a good few years, and before that was also the mayor, the Police and Crime Commissioner for Greater Manchester. I knew him very well, very nice, decent, genuine person, Tony Lloyd, who sadly passed away just a few weeks ago. So poor Tony passed away, he was very seriously ill, and then because of his death, a by-election had to be called. But what happened was that the candidate for Labour was suspended. That was due to claims of anti-Semitism that were made. I'm not going to go into the argument or anything like that about exactly what was said. I'm just going through it. So he was accused of claims of anti-Semitism. So therefore he was then removed as far as Labour were concerned as the candidate who was suspended. However, though, Azhar Ali, who I do also personally know as well, he is also still the leader of Lancashire County Council, even though he has been suspended from the Labour Party. He does still hold that position as leader of Lancashire County Council. I mentioned as well that the Green Party candidate also withdrew. So what you have there then, straight away, you have two candidates who are not exactly as it would seem to be, because Azhar Ali was not officially representing Labour, and the Green Party candidate, Guy Nicholas Otten, had already withdrawn his candidacy. So people were voting for people not in the retrospect of what it was saying on the paper, In one case, for someone who wasn't officially there. This is all serious business, although many times over the years with the dramas of the world of politics, people say, could you really make any of this up? And really what I'm actually explaining to everybody now is something which, no, it's all true. It just happened just a few days ago. So that then led then to a kind of open race as to who was likely to then win the actual seat. Simon Danchuk, who was standing for Reform UK, had previously held the seat up until 2019. Sorry, I apologise. He previously held the seat of Rochdale up until 2017. I want to apologise if I made an error with some of these figures there, but he held the seat, to my knowledge, up until 2017. Then Tony Lloyd had the seat from 2017 up until his passing just a few weeks ago. So he was known in Rochdale, and he was known for a whole variety of various different things about trying to bring the whole Cyril Smith situation, which I'm not going to go into, but trying to bring that to light and interviewing people and various different things. So he was actually known in Rochdale. And then the other person that was also potentially then also coming into the offing was the former Labour MP, but then kept changing various different colours. And of course, I'm talking about George Galloway. But let's not forget somebody else that did extremely well at that election. I already mentioned he came second, David Anthony Tully, who stood as an independent. He is a local Rochdale businessman that knows Rochdale inside out, and he was trying to do what he could to try and think about the ordinary people, the people that live in Rochdale, to try and do things differently for them. So it ended up a situation then where George Galloway won the seat. He is the leader of the Workers' Party of Britain, and this is 2023, not 1903 or even before then. This is 2023. So what does that mean now for Rochdale? One of the first things that the newly elected MP for Rochdale, George Galloway, did was to attack the leader of the Labour Party, Sir Keir Starmer. And he said he's going to be going into Westminster tomorrow with a bang. There's no ifs or buts about that whatsoever. So many people are saying, and also let's think here also, most importantly, about the actual people that live in the constituency of Rochdale. It's not too far from where I am here, but we're not neighbours. So he's not a neighbouring MP to me, George Galloway. But what about the ordinary people of Rochdale? Well, two ladies summed things up when they were interviewed on ITV Granada Reports on Friday. They said that they didn't believe that George Galloway really had the interests of people of Rochdale to hand. They said he was using that as a way just to get into Westminster. I think I would agree with that personally. So who is to blame for what happened on Thursday and for the election of George Galloway, which is seen as controversial? I would say the hand firmly lies at the hands of the Labour Party. Because what Labour should have done was vetted their candidate properly. But it's not just Labour. Labour are responsible for what's happened in Rochdale on Thursday, but there's other candidates all around the country, not just here. Look at America. I'll come to that in a few moments. But all candidates should be vetted. People know when to represent the public that they need to be seen, they need to be credible, and they need to be careful the kind of things that they say, both publicly and of course on social media. And this is what happened now in Rochdale, and therefore Azhar Ali, as I say, I've met him and I've always got along very well with Azhar Ali. When I used to be involved in the Labour Party years ago, we always used to go up and say hello and everything else. So I'm not going to say in that specific stance, but you have to be careful what you're saying. And you've got to remember, and also remember about the people that you're representing everybody, not just certain specific ones. And I'm not even going to go into the whole issue of what Azarani has said or has not said or has not done, because I'm just going to look on this on a rather balanced kind of way. But Labour should have vetted the situation a lot sooner. They should also have sorted the situation out much sooner. And really, let's be completely honest, I think most people would say the whole by-election was actually kind of sorted out a lot quicker than what some by-elections have possibly been done, and therefore candidates had to be rushed, sorted out, and therefore proper checks when they weren't done, and therefore it's ended up a situation now where one had to resign, and then one was not standing for the party that they wanted to be. I always say on Ben Shatliff on Sunday that political candidates are welcome to come onto this programme without any shadow of a doubt. I'm not extending that invitation though to George Galloway. The reason I say that is because the politics of George Galloway and the politics of myself, when I'm directly at the centre ground, I don't like to lurch left, I don't like to lurch right, but the politics would certainly not in any way, shape or form be aligned or anything, so you would not be welcome on my programme, and neither would Nigel Farage either. So I just want to put an equal balance there. But one person that is definitely welcome to come onto Ben Shatliff on Sunday, if he wanted to, is David Anthony Tully, the independent candidate that stood in Rochdale. I'd really love to hear what he would have liked to have done if given the chance, but also what he could still do. Could we get some more credibility and run and do a runoff in the general election whenever that is to happen? So yes, and of course, the other candidates they're all welcome to come on, but it's we like to balance on this programme, and other candidates will come on in the run up to the local and general elections later this year. But that's what's happened in Rochdale on that extra day of the year. I will come on to American politics as well, just very, very briefly before we end, because I want to say something about what happened on there on Thursday, on the extra day. America, we know what's happening in America. We know it's looking almost certain that Donald Trump won't just be the Republican candidate, but he'll also win the presidency. And next, on January 20th, 2025, he'll be sworn in once again as President of the United States. But where does that leave the people of Ukraine? Because all that money which is needed to go to Ukraine to help those soldiers in the trenches. I said at the rally yesterday in Manchester that America needs to get your act together. You do need to get your act together. Instead of having two old men fighting it out to see who can or cannot make a worse job of the country than what the other one is already doing or could be doing, then let's get some dynamic people. But the ones that are in the House of Congress and the House of Representatives do the right thing and help the people of Ukraine instead of sat there saying, we don't want to give our money. You've got the money, use it for something wise rather than using it for something daft. Because if Russia take full control of Ukraine, then Russia will then take control of other European countries. And once they have got control of Europe, plus other countries behind them as well, America will also be targeted by Russia. They could already be targeted in other ways anyway. So do the right thing and support Ukraine and get that money over to Ukraine immediately. Okay. Now Thursday was the longest day of the year it was the extra day of the year, because of course once every 4 years we do get a leap year. I think sometimes some people forget about things now in this so-called modern era where things are all done very, very differently, and people are like, oh, I don't know this, I don't know that. But it's only 4 years ago since we had the last extra day of the year. So I decided this time that I would use that extra day for a Lenten walk. And last July, the most amount of steps which I've managed to do was 54,000. But this year, sorry, this Lent, there we go, 56,366 steps. So that's how I spent the extra day of the year, doing something, proving that if you put your mind to it, you can actually do what you want to do. Right, that is it from this week's edition of Ben Shatliff on Sunday. I will be back again next Sunday. So far, and I hope I'm not taking any kind of fate here, we've managed to do a live show every Sunday of the year so far. I know we're only in the beginning of the third month, but at least it's a bit better than what we were able to do last year. If anybody has any thoughts or comments at all on Ben Shatliff on Sunday, please drop an email to the inquiries@benjaminfshatliff.com or drop something in the comments there. Please continue to subscribe to Ben Shatliff on Sunday, and please like, because the more we get, the more we can do more. We kept the look more or less the same, which is occasionally have some different pictures or some pictures in the background. But we've more or less had a kind of like a familiar look now for Ben Shatliff on Sunday. Hopefully it's improving, and hopefully you can hear what's on a lot more. But we want to do more. People are welcome to come on from all walks of life just to have a discussion, have a conversation. And of course, we keep praying and hoping for peace in Ukraine. Until next Sunday, from me, have a very good Sunday. Take care and keep well. Goodbye for now.
My soul is filled with joy as I sing to God my Savior. You have looked upon your servant. You have visited your people, and holy is your name. Through all generations, everlasting is your mercy to the people you have chosen, and holy is your name. I am lowly as a child, but I know from this day forward that my name will be remembered, for all will call me blessed, and holy is your name. Through all generations, everlasting is your mercy to the people you have chosen, and holy is your name. I proclaim